Hello students, welcome to the new playlist of my channel. So in this playlist I'll upload the solution videos of October 2023 P4 paper. So definitely you have seen my other playlists. Basically in each of the playlists I'll be solving questions from the recent past papers, and hope so it will help you at a great extent. Okay, so basically in this video we will start the first question of P4 October 2023 paper. So let's get started. The first question is basically from you can say binomial expansion. So definitely you got idea of binomial expansion in your AS levels, also in A2 P4. In A2 P4 you have a chapter in your textbook named as binomial expansion. So basically we will need concepts from that chapter, the binomial expansion chapter, to do and to solve this question, the first question of this paper. So in part A, what they are asking, find the first 4 terms in ascending powers of x of the binomial expansion of 8 over 2 minus 5x whole squared, writing each term in simplest form. Okay, so we need to expand this binomial expression. Fine. Okay, so how can we expand it? Look, we will write 8, then 2 minus 5x, since it is in multiplication form. Okay, the power will be what? -2, since it was in the denominator. Okay, so next what we can do, let us make it more simpler. Okay, take 2 common from the bracket. Okay, if you take 2 common from there, what would be the case? 1 minus what? 5 over 2 x, and then inverse 2. Right? Now take these 2 outside the bracket. So 2 inverse 2 is what? 1 over 4. So 1 over 4 times 8, this is 2. And then you will have 1 minus 5 over 2x. Right? Inverse 2. Now we need to expand this up to, okay, not up to, its first 4 terms. Okay, the first 4 terms would be what? At first 2, it's multiplied with the whole expansion. The first term would be what? 1 to the power -2. This is 1 as it is. Okay, then the second term would be what? Plus -2 on the numerator, it will be 1 factorial. Right? 1 factorial, then times what? -5 over twice of x. And what would be its power? Its power would be 1, because on the denominator the factorial is what? 1. Next, plus the third term, -2 times -3. We got 2 factors at the numerator, so on the denominator it would be twice factorial, then times what? -5 over 2 x whole squared. Fine, we got the third term. Now the last term would be what? -2 times what? -2 times -3 times what? What? 4. So 3 factors. So we should have 3 factorial in the denominator, and then negative, since in the denominator it is 3 factorial, so 5 over 2x, it should be whole cube. Fair enough, we got the first four terms, and then keep it going. Since it's expansion, it will keep going. Okay, fine. So now multiply out the values. What you will get? 1 minus it will be plus. At first consider the sign. The most important thing is that students do this mistake frequently, that their terms are fine, but for only the mistake in the sign they lose marks. So at first multiply out the sign separately. So what we will get? Negative, it will be positive. Put it there. Fine. You can see 2 there. So 2 times 5 over 2, that would be what? Just 5x. Done. So multiply the sign at first and then multiply the values. Okay. So here same, minus plus, it will be plus. Okay. So 2 times 2 factorial 2 and 2 factorial cancels out, so you'll get 3. 3 times 25 over 4, that would be what? 25 times 3, this is what? 75 over 4. 75 over 4 x squared. Fine. 75 over 4 x squared, and then minus plus, minus, this is what? Minus, and minus, this is plus. So 3 factorial, 3 and 2 cancels out, because 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1, so 3 and 2 cancels out, so you'll have 4. 5 cube is 125 over 2 cube is what? 8. 125 over 8 times 4, that is what? 125 over 2. So 125 over 2 x cube. Fine. And it keeps going. Keep it going. That's fine. Now multiply that 2. So we'll get 2 plus what? Plus 10x plus 10x okay, it will be 10x plus what? 75 over 2, 75 over 2 x squared, and then plus what? Plus 125 x cube plus what? Keep it going. So we got the first 4 terms of this binomial expression, and that's the answer for part A. Let's move on to part B. Find the range of values of x for which this expansion is valid. Okay. Though it's for 1 mark, that's fine. It's for 1 mark. You definitely know the rule how to answer this. The rule is that for answering this, we use basically a memorized thing like that. From the what? From the binomial expression, the second term, the modulus of the second term has to be smaller than the first term. This is what? This is the memorized method for that, right? Now let me explain some concepts behind it. It will take a bit time, but let's see. Basically, what is meant by expansion is valid? Definitely you have done approximations using binomial expansion in AS levels P2, your pure mathematics 2, definitely. So it's very often like the binomial expansion terms are used for estimation or approximation. So in case of approximation, in order for the approximation to be valid, there are some range of values for the x. Okay, there are some range of values for the x that can be substituted in this equation, and you will get a convergent value. Okay, now how the expansion would become convergent? Look, if you see the expansion, you can see that the power of x is increasing by 1, right? So in order to be convergent, okay, in order for this expansion to be convergent, what I said, there are some range of values for x. For these range of values of x, you will have this expansion convergent. That is, this expansion will get closer and closer to a fixed value. Okay, and if an expansion is convergent, then with that expansion, the approximation is possible to happen. Make sense? Now, let us find out what are the range of possible values of x can be in order to have what? To have convergent expansion. Okay, so for part B, to be convergent, we need to consider what? The second term, the modulus of the second term, modulus of negative 5x. Since it is modulus, it will cancel out what? It will cancel out the negative, right? So modulus of 5x should be less than 2. That means the range of possible values for x is what? Modulus of x less than 2 over 5, less than 2 over 5. So that means if the value of x is less than, modulus of x is less than 2 over 5, then this expansion, right, the expansion that we have gotten there, this expansion would be convergent. That means the higher powers of x can be ignored, because the higher powers of x would be such that these higher powers would be, the values of these terms would be so small that if you ignore them, it will not have any impact on the final converged value. Okay, now what if you put in this expansion a value of x that is greater than 2 over 5? The range says x less than. If we put x greater than 2 over 5, what would be the case? The case would be what? The expansion will not be valid for any approximation, because it will be divergent. The value will keep increasing and increasing. Why? The higher powers of x, that is that would be x4, x to the power 4, x to the power 5, x to the power 6. These values cannot be ignored. Since these values cannot be ignored, that's why the values will keep increasing. The value of this binomial expression will keep increasing and increasing and increasing. So approximation would not be possible. That's the concept behind range of values of x. I hope so you have understood. And that was all about question number 1 from October 2023 P4 paper.